have breaking news?
We do.
Is it going to be the Marlins' final score? Because I just got that push notification.
Nah, don't be silly.
What is the breaking news?
Ooh. The Mets beat the Marlins 7-1
I guessed
in
it.
spring training.
I guessed it. It is final. Josh Appel is with us here on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Josh Appel is the public address announcer for the Marlins. Marlins open the season March 28th at Lone Depot Park. You will hear the booming voice of Josh that afternoon and all Marlins season long. What went wrong today?
I didn't watch. What went wrong is that the Mets scored more runs than the Marlins did.
Fair enough. Let's move on. Do you do vocal exercises heading into a season?
I do not.
You don't?
No.
You have no idea what would be healthy or unhealthy for your voice because that is your tool. That's your instrument.
Yep, no idea. And I wonder if there's any correlation with that to the long list of voice cracks that I keep on my phone throughout the season.
Interesting.
Maybe there's some correlation there. Who knows?
Well, perhaps you should take this coming season more seriously and do a couple of vocal exercises. Go ahead, Jimmy. Tell him what to do.
I don't want to listen to Jimmy. No.
Well, that's good because Jimmy was not paying attention at all. He has no idea what I asked him to tell.
I'm 90% sure Jimmy fell asleep in the last segment, and I'm not kidding. I saw him doze off.
Really? I want to go back and watch that video.
Okay, I marked it.
I did not fall asleep.
Yeah, did you fall asleep in the last segment, Jimmy?
I did not.
Which part did you zone out on? Mozzarella sticks?
No. I love mozzarella sticks.
All right, just checking.
Normally I come to the defense of Jimmy, but Jimmy trashed me after.
Yeah, so you filled in for us last week. We were gone for a couple days. You filled in for a couple days. Alex Dono filled in for a day. And I asked Jimmy when we got back, who did you get along with better? He said Dono without any hesitation.
Crazy.
Would you like to address this, Appel?
I brought in Jimmy on every single discussion in every segment. I praised his.
That I'd like to talk with you about.
Listen, it's the week after the Super Bowl. There was nothing going on. I had to talk to somebody. And then I hear the bit that you guys, or the bit of the show that you did with Jimmy, asking him who he enjoyed more. And he said, yeah, Josh involved me more in the show than Dono did. And yet, when you pressed him, he still chose Dono as the superior fill-in. And look, I love Dono. Dono and I go way back. Excellent host. But Jimmy, this was the ultimate betrayal. It really was.
Jimmy, would you like to stand back on your opinion from last week and reverse
I don't want it? That's his opinion. Now that I'm here, no, I know what his real thoughts are. I don't want it.
All right. Would you like to apologize, Jimmy?
I'm sorry, Josh.
Okay.
That was it, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We've got a long way to go to repair this relationship, Jimmy.
Give us a little sample of what we're going to hear when Tim Anderson comes to the plate, Appel.
You know, it's funny because I've been trying to figure out how I was going to announce his name. We've had an Anderson before, and I did it kind of long, but it's a short first name, one syllable. So, all right, here we go. Now batting, the shortstop, number 7, Tim Anderson.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. I like the way you do that. Anderson. That's good. You're going to miss Garrett Cooper, right?
I'm going to miss Cooper.
That was one of your favorite announcements, right?
Yeah, it was. Going for back a few years, but he signed with the Cubs. So if he makes the team and they come to, when they come to Lone Depot Park, I may have to do the visiting version of
interesting.
Cooper. Yeah.
And you would that's only reserved for a couple of fan favorites every now and then, and you would give him that honor.
Absolutely.
I love Coop, but he's in that conversation where when he returns, he gets the PA guy to say his name like if he was still on the team.
There will absolutely be a tribute video for Garrett Cooper when he returns for the first time, and I will give him one Cooper.
Yeah, he earned that. Did you ever hear our montage of Corey Dickerson when he got traded from the Marlins?
I mean, it's one of my favorite montages we've ever put together.
All right, then I will not. I'm not going to waste anyone's time with it. Don't worry about it, Solana. Maybe we'll do it in the 4 o'clock hour. I just wanted to make sure because we give our own tribute videos ourselves or tribute audio. But Garrett Cooper would deserve one, Solana. You're not going to argue that.
You think so? I mean, I'm not hating on Koopa Loop. Like I love Koopa
Sounds like
Loop,
you are.
but I don't. You know, when I think of when the Heat bring back players, and Mike B is gonna say, you know, welcome back to the Kaseya Center, Mario Chalmers. I mean, he's a 2-time NBA champion with your organization. You know, they're not giving anybody that type of treatment.
I mean, Coop
Garrett
was an
Cooper, 2-time playoff appearances, right?
one in 2020. They traded him in the middle of the season last year.
Last year?
Yeah, but he had some huge hits on the way to the trade deadline.
Well, it changes my whole bit because I didn't
he was an
realize that he
all-star.
was. I thought he was going after the season. I had no idea he was going in the middle.
He was gone midseason. That was a tough one.
Well, there's our Marlins preview.
Yeah,
Tell us about Jesus Luzardo, who's going to get the nod opening day. Tell us about the rotation. In all honesty, tell us about the rotation. And we know Sandy is going to be out for a while, but
they have so much starting rotation depth. It's crazy, even without Sandy Alcantara, even after they traded Pablo Lopez before last year. And the leaps that Luzardo and friend of the show, I guess both are friends of the show now because we had Luzardo on while you guys were out. You guys also have Braxton Garrett on a few times. Like the leap that those two guys made last year, they started both playoff games. Eury Perez will have a bit more leeway to pitch this year, and he'll start on the roster on opening day. Luzardo
when you say he'll have a bit more leeway, so he's not just part of the rotation for the entire season?
He is, but he will still be on an innings limit. He's going to be 21 years old, and he sits 99. I mean, you got to protect that arm a little bit. But they may find themselves in a similar situation to last year where they are fighting for a playoff spot again and have to make a difficult decision with what they do with Eury Perez. But you look at a top three of Luzardo, Garrett, and Perez, and then hopefully a healthy Trevor Rogers, who was an all-star his rookie season.
Another friend of the show, by the way.
Really?
T-Raj.
His all-star season. We tried to jump on board that train, and then he stunk afterwards. So we kind of have forgotten him.
Well, he got hurt, and hopefully he's healthy. Everything seems like he's on track to be in the rotation. And then Edward Cabrera, who, if he gets his control issues that he had last year down, he's got great stuff that like rivals really end. Like for a fourth or fifth starter in your rotation is really good talent-wise. And then you go even below that, they're trying to make AJ Puck a starter. He threw 2 hitless innings today against the Mets. Ryan Weathers, who was really good at the end of the season against the Pirates for the Marlins. He's like
Cueto still on the team?
Johnny Cueto is not on the team anymore.
All right.
But it's exciting. And Jesus Luzardo announced today as the opening day starter, South Florida kid. Like it's a really cool story. And I hope that more people recognize, like, just like he said today, I think with Tobin and Leroy, that his dad used to pick him up from school to go to Marlins spring training and to Marlins opening day. And here he is in 2024 as the Marlins opening day starter. Really cool.
So is Chris Volstad on the outside looking in?
Come on, that's funny.
I remember. Can I give you my 2 Chris Volstad memories?
No. Yeah,
Okay.
Go ahead.
One of them, he was the pitcher who threw behind Niger Morgan.
That was a great question. You gotta acknowledge.
Yeah, I mean,
Cueto, I thought that was funny. Volstead funnier, much funnier.
There's so many great names from those mid to late 2000 and like early 2010 Marlins teams, like in the old stadiums.
I was gonna go with Anibal Sanchez, but I think is he still in the league? Anibal Sanchez.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Josh's setup there too. It sounded like he became a robot, and then
I think the
and then
Marlins
you Volstaded him. you threw off his entire internet with Chris Volstad.
You're back, buddy. You're back.
I'm back. All right. I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, it was odd.
I got this whole new setup and I'm so excited about it, and it craps out the first time I'm back on with Hawk.
Possible that the Marlins cut you off, that they've got you on a tight leash.
Maybe. You never know, they're listening.
Possible. Never know.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. Chris Volstad memories.
He was the guy who threw behind Niger Morgan, the big brawl Marlins Nationals where Gabby Sanchez clotheslined him.
One of
my
greatest
top
Marlins memories of all time.
Yeah.
I hung up on my grandmother. We were on the phone when that happened, and I hung up on my grandmother.
Understandable.
Yeah, I'll never forget it.
Understandable. Jimmy, you're a big Marlins fan. Is the Gabby Sanchez clothesline one of your favorite Marlins memories?
Oh, that was wonderful.
Yeah, that was.
I was
great.
at that game too.
You were?
Yeah, I was working it.
You were security?
I was security.
Love that.
That was awesome.
I mean,
what if we were doing, top 10? I don't think we could put together a top 10. I'm sure Appel could, but I don't think Hawk, Jimmy, or I could. A top 10 Marlins moment of just the last decade.
Oh, the last decade.
That'd be
I don't even know
difficult.
if that
right,
Gabby
Appel?
Sanchez was in the last decade, was it?
yeah, because he played in the well, actually, I don't know.
Maybe.
24. It's 2024, so we're going back from 2014 until now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
there are great individual moments. I mean, Giancarlo Stanton won an MVP in the last
I
10
was
years.
gonna say,
for the
well,
Marlins.
no, but moments.
Yeah,
Actual,
but
like
when
an on-field moment.
I mean, when he
Launched the ball out of the park.
Yeah, in the big 60 home run season or whatever he ended up finishing.
No,
with,
but a moment. You keep talking about season. Like
yeah,
I'm
saying
like
that specific home run.
Right. Like a Gabby Sanchez clothesline is a moment.
Jose Fernandez fighting the entire Atlanta Braves after hitting a home run.
Yeah, that
Thank you.
was
Jimmy
good.
has researched it. Anibal Sanchez announced his retirement in 2023. So there you go. We have an answer.
Is that a Marlins moment of the last decade?
Well,
Even
no.
though-
When you slightly disconnected there, Solano was trying to figure out if Anibal Sanchez was still in the league or not.
No, he was not terrible as an innings eater for the Nationals at the end there.
In all honesty, though, are there expectations with the Marlins this season? Because they were a playoff team, but they got rolled by Philadelphia in the playoffs, but they were a playoff team. I don't know if they exceeded expectations wildly last season and we need to temper it a little bit, or is that the expectation going into the season?
People like to say they had a rough offseason. Really, their only loss from last year's team is Jorge Soler. And I'm not trying to downplay that because that's still 35 home runs that the Marlins will have to replace. But we just talked about the pitching rotation, how deep they are there. They're getting Anthony Bender back and a couple other guys in the bullpen that should make that part of the team stronger. You'll get a full season of Jake Berger. You'll get a full season of Josh Bell. Tim Anderson, there's a lot of upside there. 1 year, $5 million for a guy who had a down year last year, but a lot of that was due to injury. And he also had the unfortunate down goes Anderson thing. And
one of the greatest memories in the baseball season last season, one of the most memorable moments in the entire baseball season last year.
But we don't have to talk about that. You've got Luis Arias.
Sure, he's not going to want to talk about it.
And I will not bring it up with him. They improved at catcher. Brian De La Cruz broke out last year, hit about 20 home runs. If Jazz Chisholm stays healthy in center, there's obviously a lot of ifs, but there are a lot of ifs with every season. They should be competing for a playoff spot again. That's how I see it. They're talented enough. And like I said, the only major loss from last year's team is Jorge Soler and obviously Sandy's injury, but they've got depth with the starting pitch.